Hello and welcome back to Lusail International Motocross Circuit here in Qatar. We are in the Middle East for the first time in the FIA Motocross World Championships history. My name is Paul Malin. You join us live here on an historic evening, Saturday the 2nd of March 2013. We've seen an MX1 and an MX2 race, but for the first time ever we're about to see an MX1, MX2 combined Superfinal race, which is made up of the top 18 from MX1 and MX2 first race, and 4 riders, 2 MX2 and 2 MX1, from a last chance race, which was held about an hour ago. So the big question is, with all the top MX1 and MX2 riders going head to head, will we see an MX1 or an MX2 winner? Will it be Cairoli or Hurlings? Will it be our race 1 winner from MX1 race 1, Commander Sal Kandidaico, who was there in second in the first race? He'll surely have something to say as this race gets underway. But there is the town, there is the city of Doha. We're about 30 kilometers or so from there. And this part of town, West Bay, wasn't even there about 10 years ago. So it gives you some idea as to the rapid growth that we have in this part of the world. Of course, they've got the 2022 FIFA World Cup here in that many years, and then we've also got MotoGP coming here under the floodlights of the road race circuit that you see there in the background. But this 1,595 meter long circuit here has a very long start straight, about 100 meters or so into a very wide, fast left-hand turn, but it tightens up right at the point where you don't want it to. Jeffrey Hurlings, he fell foul of that yesterday, and he'll be looking, as he was in race 1, to stay away from any kind of danger. But there's going to be the added riders on 450 machines right at the start of this super final race here. We'll take you a quick look around the circuit in just a moment.
Congratulations, you are the winner of the whole shot award. You made a great start in the MX1 race.
Yeah, sure, I got the whole shot, and I was really happy with that. But after that, I got a little bit tight. I think Ken was pushing hard on me, and I got a little bit arm pump, so I had to slow down a little bit, and I was just a little bit too nervous, But I'm happy with my bike, happy that I could take the whole shot, and I hope to do it again in the Superfinal.
Well done, and here's your check from Atana and Get.
So Get Athena, another 250 euros for Kevin Strybos. Of course, he was the whole shot winner from race number 1. Well, a little earlier on, it's around about 4 o'clock, an hour before the practice. Guess what? The Harlem Shake. Petr Petrov got things started. Let's have a look, see that's how this panned out. And do the Harlem Shake. That was the Harlem Shake. Let's take a quick look around our GoPro track preview. Tony Cairoli, Commander Sal. This was done on Saturday.
Hello, I'm Commander Sal, riding for Team Rockstar Suzuki in MX1 class.
Tony Cairoli, KDM Red Bull Factory Racing.
So this was done on Friday, after the first 3 practice sessions. About 100 meters down into turn 1, you see how deep and ripped it is. Nice and wide, and then we come over here, it starts to tighten up in between the 2 singles, on board now with Commander Sal. Then turn 2, as they come out of here, they wheelie the first 2 waves, and then it's double, double, double all the way through. Jeffrey Hurlings was very fast through there in his qualifying race yesterday. Turn 2, a lot of braking bumps as you get to the bottom of that last wave. Through the left, over an offset single, through this right-hander pretty quick. Just a giant roller through there, not quite a tabletop. Then we have the first of the Monster Energy tabletop jumps. That being about 26 meters, something like that. Then we come out of the tight right, over a single floater, through the left, off camber corner through here. Then it levels out, the ground now pretty hard and stony through this part of the circuit. Through the right-hander, over the second of the Monster Energy tabletop jumps, again about 29 meters long. That was a bit of a stretch yesterday. The angle on that ramp has been tweaked this morning, just to make it a bit easier. Then we've got a ski jump through this left-hand turn, and we've got a single. The guy's able to scrub with more speed through here now, and again, this was a stretch yesterday onto a plateau. Long straight through the widest turn on the track, over the next tabletop. That's about 23 meters, something like that. Through the left, over Scrub Hill, which is here, so rider's able just to tip it down a little bit. Then we have the quad. That's about 37 meters point to point. Only 2 riders got over that. Clement, Gauthier Paulin and Evgeny Bobashev through the final turn over the Monster Energy finish line jump. And again, about 26 meters long. Difficult to get over yesterday, but again, just slightly tweaked. Then from there, there's a double into a corner, short right, short left, down past pit lane, final turn, rejoin back on yourself along the start straight. That's what it looks like. So here we are, the super final. How does it work? Well, as we've already mentioned, top 18 from MX2 race 1, the top 18 from MX1 race 1. They were automatically seeded. There was a last chance race about an hour ago. The top 2 MX2 and top 2 MX1 riders went through, giving us a full grid of 40 for this 35-minute plus 2-lap race. There's Glenn Coldenhoff. He finished second in the MX2 race earlier, so 22 points in his World Championship at the moment. Now, you might notice that all the 250 riders, the MX2 guys, are taking the first 20 gates. They can pick where they want to go, but all the MX2 guys will be up the inside going into this left-hand turn. The MX1 guys will be the other side of the box, and that will be policed quite heavily, so no MX2 guys should be able to go to the right side of the box. They'll all be inside. There's Christophe Charlier. A good ride for him in Moto number 1 in the MX2 category. Came home in 3rd on the Monster Energy Yamaha. 4th was Romain Fevre, 461. That's him there on the Wilvo Nastar and JM Racing KTM. Then it was Dean Ferris, number 111, riding for Steve Dixon's Monster Energy Yamaha squad. 6 was Alessandro Lupino, and this is how they will line up as well. So the qualifying race, actually, we'll just cover this now. The qualifying race from yesterday would give the guys MX1 and MX2 their grid position for their first race, and for the super final, it's where they finished in the first race. So Jake Nichols, for instance, he will go to the line 18th, as he was 18th finisher in that race. Going to be no Arnold Tonus. Picked up another fracture to the leg that he fractured at the Motocross of Nations, so he'll be on a plane first thing tomorrow. Here's how they line up. All MX2 riders for the first 20 positions. That's how they finished in Moto number 1 as well. And then after that, it'll be 21 onwards. Now you see Anstey and Tellier, they were 1st and 2nd in the last chance race, so they will make up the last 2 positions. Then, of course, 21 onwards will be Clement de Sale, Kenda Dijkhoff, Tony Cairoli, Paulin. That's how they finished, all the way down to 38th. And then the final 2 riders that transferred from the last chance race, Jens Getterman on the 24 MX Honda and Jason Dugan on the Route 77 Energy Honda. So something of a historic occasion this weekend in Qatar. The first time an FIM Motocross World Championship has been held under floodlight in the Middle East. MX1, MX2 Super Final, new last chance qualifying format to get through to the Super Final as well. And also you might notice if you're joining us for the Super Final, you missed the first 2 races earlier from MX1 and MX2. No green track fencing around the circuit this weekend, and that will be also for the rest of the season. So you'll be able to see a little bit more, but also gives the riders a little bit more comfort knowing that they're not going to get the green stuff wrapped around the rear wheel ever again, or certainly not in 2013 anyway. But Jeffrey Hurlings deciding to go for the inside gate alongside Glenn Coldenhoff. What's the bet? He gets a good jump, jumps across his fellow countryman and tries to give himself as much space as possible going into that first turn. Jonathan Barragan there, STR, Steve Turner Racing, KTM, number 7. Barragan finishing down in 16th in the first MX1 race. But we're getting ready to go racing here for the final time this evening. It is just after 11 o'clock here, local time. We're under floodlights. Dave Nickel, our race director from the FIM, signals the 5-second board to go up. The Monster Energy girls get out of the way. And this is going to be a belter. Jeffrey Hurlings gets a good jump, but almost bangs bars with his fellow countryman, and he doesn't get the jump that he wanted. Instead, it's Kevin Strybos and Clement de Sale. They are the 2 MX1 guys that come out on top. Jeffrey Hurlings in 3rd place around the outside there. It looked like he held a nice tight line, but Cairoli in 4th running alongside him. So at the moment, it's the two Suzukis to Sal Strybos with the two Red Bull KTMs of Tony Cairoli, Jeffrey Hurlings, and maybe one of the Hondas. Maybe Evgeny Bobryshev. It might be Tixier in there, you know. So if Hurlings is there right from the get-go, yeah, it is. Hurlings and Bobryshev in 4th and 5th. So we've got a race on our hands here. Jeffrey Hurlings doesn't have to go out and win the race outright. All he has to concentrate on is winning his MX2 category to pick up 25 points. The second guy in MX2 can be down in 10th, but he'll still pick up 22 points. Sounds a little bit confusing, but both classes are scored individually. So at the moment, though, the big boys are leading the way. Bobryshev, bottom of his screen, around the outside, trying to find a way past Jeffrey Hurlings there, but it's Clement de Sal, our winner from race 1 on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Number 25, Cairoli, already up in the 2nd position, so already right on the rear wheel of Clement de Sal, which is where he wasn't in Moto number 1. Never saw which way Clement de Sal went. Over the finish line jump for the first time then. Clement de Sal breaks the beam on that yellow Suzuki, number 25. Tony Cairoli 2nd, Kevin Strybos 3rd, Bobryshev 4th. So we've got 4 MX1 guys leading the way. Then it's Hurlings, Roman Fevre and Jordi Tixier, 3 MX2 guys. Then we've got, in 8th place, Gauthier Paulin, Tommy Searle in 9th. Julian Lieber is 10th. Rui Gonçalves 11th, David Philippart's 12th, Mel Pocock is 13th, Dean Ferris 14th. So Pocock is 5th MX2 guy at the moment, ahead of Dean Ferris, Boutron and Coldenhoff, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th for the MX2 division. Sean Simpson is the 9th MX1 ahead of Ken de Dijker, David Guarneri and Stephen Frossard down in 20th. He's the 12th MX1 rider out on track at the moment. Early stages though, there's Evgeny Bobryshev looking to go up the inside of Kevin Strybos. But Strybos holding a nice tight line, track in mint condition now compared to what it was maybe this time yesterday. It was heavy in the corners. Now it's not so heavy, the ground a lot looser, a lot more scope for riders to cut across and create new lines, which is exactly what you want if you're an MX2 guy in this final race. There's Hurlings. So Hurlings in 5th at the moment, lead MX2 rider on the Red Bull KTM. I think what we'll see here at the front, Gauthier Paulin. Oh, I tell you what, Gauthier Paulin giving Bobryshev a nudge. Bobryshev coming out pretty good there because Gauthier Paulin down in 8th place in the race, 5th MX1 rider. Long start straight here. I think if it's a little bit shorter, you would have seen a few more MX2 guys at the inside. De Sal just breaking across, look, from the center of the box, right in the center of your screen. Just running away with it, but Strybos just a few more gates further down, pulling the pin and getting on the gas a little bit earlier. Clement de Sal, Tony Cairoli, 2nd and 1st in the World Championship last year, respectively. Tony Cairoli 3rd in Moto number 1. Earlier on this evening, De Sal was the winner, Ken de Dijker was 2nd. Ken de Dijker at the moment is 9th MX1 guy, but he's in 15th place at the moment, out on track. So after one official lap completed then, as the riders head round turn 2, it's Clement de Sal, Tony Cairoli, Kevin Strybos and Evgeny Bobryshev in 4th. Then we've got Jeffrey Hurlings, the lead MX2 guy, in 5th. Then Gauthier Paulin now. He's up into 6th position in the race, having just found a way past Romain Fevre, Tommy Searle, Jordi Tixier, David Philipparts and Dean Ferris. Mel Pocock's dropped down. He's, where is he, in 10th place, something like that, 12th place, but he's 6th MX2 guy, out on track just ahead of Glenn Coldenhoff. We're on board with Kevin Strybos. Strybos being passed by Evgeny Bobryshev. Clement de Sal will be feeling pretty confident after his victory in Moto number 1. Tony Cairoli equally will be feeling confident knowing that at any given time he can just flick the switch and go at will and find a way past pretty much anybody. As the Suzuki crew look on there, Mark Verpaulen, the crew chief, 4:25. Clement de Sal just wondering what to put on the board in terms of gaps between him and Cairoli. Well, there you see it, probably about a half a second, something like that. Cairoli was fastest last time around with 1:48.3, 3/10 quicker than Clement de Sal. De Sal comes over the line 1:48.902, Cairoli 1:49.710. Fastest personal best though for Bobryshev, 1:48.3. He's about 2.5 seconds down on our race leader, which means he's about a second down on Tony Cairoli. Has he got anything to challenge the Sicilian with in the early stages of this race? Cairoli there, 2:22, 6-time world champion. Racked up more than 20 race wins last year. There is Bobryshev, you know, he's going after Cairoli. He feels that with 4th place in Moto number 1, he's got or 5th place in Moto number 1, he's got a real chance of finishing overall on the podium in the MX1 category. Hurling's about a second ahead of Gauthier Paulin at the moment. Hurling's in 5th, the lead MX2 guy. Then Paulin 6th in the race. Tommy Searle 7th in the race. Romain Febvre 8th in the race. 2nd MX2 guy, so 22 points for his campaign. Then Jordi Tixier, he's 8th in the race at the moment, but 3rd MX2 guy. Claudio De Carli looking on, closest to the camera. Team manager for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing MX1. De Salle looking like he's got a good rhythm going on here. Through the single, onto the plateau, getting over there nice and easily today. That was one of the jumps that had a bit of a tweak, just to correct the takeoff angle, just to help the MX2 guys really get over it. But Tony Cairoli just losing a little bit of time on that lap. There's Bobryshev keeping Cairoli honest. We have seen Cairoli make mistakes in the past, but I'm sure he'll sit there and bide his time. Here's Hurlings. We've got Gauthier Paulin all over the back of him. So as they come over the line, Hurlings in 5th, Paulin in 6th. Tommy Searle 7th, Romain Febvre 8th, Tixier 9th, Philippe Arts 10th, Dean Ferris is 11th, Rui Gonçalves 12th, Julian Lieber 13th, Mel Pocock 14th. In fact, he's just been overtaken by Ken de Dijker. Has Mel Pocock, Frossard next, 15th, then Julian Lieber, so Lieber's lost a couple of positions. So Mel Pocock picking up an MX2 place there. He's now 5th in the MX2 category on the Monster Energy Yamaha. So as Gauthier Paulin, number 21, on the white Kawasaki in the QMMF, Qatar Motor and Motorcycle Federation colours there, just off the back of the screen, looks to go after Jeffrey Hurlings to have a chance at getting across to Kevin Strybos. He has got Tommy Searle breathing down his neck as well. So let's give you a rundown, individual classifications here. As Hurlings looks to try to find a way around, Strybos goes wide, but he might leave himself wide open for attack from Gauthier Paulin, but he keeps it nice and short and tight. Hurlings going after the Suzuki here. So the number 84, Jeffrey Hurlings, got a flyer of a start. He's a lead MX2 guy, working all the time. Trying to find a way past, just a little bit short on the top there. So at the moment then, after 3 laps, MX1 category looks like this. Clement de Salle leads, Tony Cairoli 2nd, Bobryshev 3rd, Strybos 4th, Paulin 5th, Searle 6th, Philippe Arts 7th, Gonçalves 8th, De Dijker 9th, Frossard 10th. In MX2, it's Hurlings 1st, Romain Febvre 2nd, Tixier 3rd, Ferris 4th, Mel Pocock 5th, Julian Lieber 6th, Boutron 7th, and Koldenhoff 8th. Over the finish line they go. Jeffrey Hurlings about to get done here by Paulin, who puts a big lean on him. And likewise, Cairoli coming out of the final turn, back onto the start straight, working his magic on the Red Bull KTM, runs it up the inside of De Salle, but De Salle, well, where did Cairoli come from? Well, the answer is a fastest lap, 1:48.086 of the race. Fastest lap of the race for Cairoli, and he's within striking distance of the Belgian winner from Moto number 1. Oh, Cairoli dives up the inside and takes De Salle wide, and De Salle won't like that. He put the squeeze on him, but these guys, they're not going to back off 1 inch. And Tony Cairoli, he's took his moment, he's seized it with both hands. He now leads for the first time in 2013 in the FIM Motocross World Championship in the MX1 category, leading the Superfinal. Take a look at the pass again. De Salle just left Cairoli, enough of a rut up the inside. Then he had no choice but to back off. Cairoli wasn't taking no for an answer. I'm coming through, that's it. You want to pass me, you got to come back after me. So Tony Cairoli then, he means business. Carly still not able to raise a smile just yet. Tony Cairoli's goal at the start of the weekend was just to finish on the podium. Of course, he would love to win the Grand Prix, but as it stands at the moment, third in Moto number 1. That's 20 points. 141, Maxime Dupre goes down. Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Marshals are allowed to help pick a rider up, but they're not allowed to hold the bike when you start up the machine. Marshall doing his job there. So Maxime Dupre losing the front end here, is he? Coming into the corner. Catches a foot peg. Oh yeah, then loses the front end on the way round, gets his leg caught underneath the bike. So Maxime Dupre. Here's Paulin and Tommy Searle. So Tommy Searle having a better ride this time around, going after Gauthier Paulin. The first 6 places in this race now are all MX1 guys. Tommy Searle there, number 100 on that green Kawasaki, the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit machine. He's in 6th place, behind the number 21 on the white Kawasaki of Gauthier Paulin. The guy in the yellow Rockstar Energy Suzuki. Ahead of them is Kevin Strybos in 4th, and they're about 3 seconds down on Evgeny Bobryshev on the Honda World Motocross machine in 3rd place. Tony Cairoli, though, sets another fastest lap of the race, 147.8, and he's 1.3 seconds clear of Clement de Sale in 2nd position. De Sale will win the overall Grand Prix, though, if he stays like that. Gauthier Paulin, though, knows he's got Tommy Searle to deal with. Can he shake off the Brit? Can Tommy Searle go after Gauthier Paulin? Probably one of the only riders, one of the few riders in MX1, Tommy Searle, not to have raced before he came here to Qatar in 2013. Paulin was almost an outright winner had he not had a machine problem at Valence in the International just a couple of weeks ago. He also rode at Mantova. Tommy Searle was due to ride at the Hawkstone International Motocross in February, but that was called off due to severe weather. But Jeffrey Hurlings, though, he is the lead MX2 guy. He's 7th in the race at the moment. He's 3 seconds down on Tommy Searle. There's your second guy, Romain Fevre. Was blisteringly fast yesterday in the qualifying race, had a big crash this morning over the quad jump, just coming into the final corner. That was in afternoon warm-up at 5 o'clock, around about 20 past 5, something like that, but he picked himself up, dusted himself down. Did this kid here, 461, a former European MX2 champion. Romain Fevre finished 4th in Moto number 1. This will be good enough for an overall podium behind Jeffrey Hurlings, because Glenn Coldenhoff, our 2nd place finisher from Moto number 1, he's down in 5th in the MX2 category at the moment. Julian Lieber, Rockstar Suzuki Europe guy, goes down, final corner, picks himself up, jumps back onto the start straight, losing the front end, going just a bit too high probably, does he, or does he get taken out? Jake Nichols slams into him and takes him down. A collision there between 2 lines, racing incident. Jake Nichols just didn't even look back. Lieber just having to do it the hard way. On board with Kevin Strybos on the GoPro camera. Currently there in 4th place in a moment. He's 2 seconds down on Evgeny Bobryshev, but puts his personal best lap of the race in 148.8, a whole second quicker than Bobryshev. So is he starting to close in on the Honda World Motocross rider from Russia, just nipping out a shot there? Well, Strybos will believe that he can. Maybe just rode a little bit tight in the first race. Got caught, went from 1st to 3rd in the space of about 3 corners. Did Kevin Strybos. Around about lap 6, lap 7, something like that. But Gauthier Paulin is closing in as well. Tommy Searle just looks to be losing the toe from Gauthier Paulin at the moment. So with 20 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this first ever super final, which sees the top 20 MX1 and top 20 MX2 riders going head-to-head as we look at the slow-mo of Monster Energy Yamaha rider Stephen Frossard and also Maxime Dupre, 141 from MX2. There's Jason Dugan, number 85, the Route 77 energy drink. Harry Koulas, 151 on the Garibaldi Honda. There's Max Anstey, number 14. Where's he in the race at the moment? Max Anstey down in about 31st position as it stands. So Anstey at the moment is, well, Pocock now 6th. but 21st in the race. 6th MX2 guy. Jake Nichols, 7th MX2 guy just behind him. Elliot Banks-Brown, 8th MX2 guy. So that'll be a 12th and an 8th. Boutron Charlier Anstey, 12th in MX2 right now. Valentin Tellier, 13th in MX2. Tomkov, 14th. Petrov, 15th. Lupino, 16th. Kevin Fors, 17th. Harry Kulas, 18th. Olsen, 19th. We're going down to pit lane.
Down in the pit lane with the Kawasaki racing team. Thierry, you are supported for this race by QMMF.
Yes, for us it's a pleasure now to fight for the third place because our bike is really special with color of QMMF, and Gauthier he tried to find the best to be on the podium for the QMMF.
Thank you, Thierry.
Thierry Suzzoni, team owner for KRT. Borland having to go down a gear just as he came through the turn. Oh, we've got Van Hoorbeek out. Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Kawasaki racing team number 2, riding with a hand injury. He goes out of the race here after 8 laps. So the Jer riding with a hand injury. Speaking in French. And a little bit of Flemish there as well to one of the mechanics. There's Kevin Strybos. So Strybos, as it stands then, 18 minutes plus 2 to go. As Dupre, after that crash. MX1 looks like this. Cairoli, 4.2 seconds clear of Clement de Sal, good enough for the overall in MX1. De Sal second, Bobryshev third, about 2 seconds further back. Then we've got this man here, Kevin Strybos, on board with the GoPro. 5th is Gauthier Clorland on the factory Kawasaki under the QMMF banner, the Qatari Motor and Motorcycle Federation. Then we've got Tommy Searle in 6th. 7th is Philip Arts, 8th Didika, 9th Frossard, and 10th is Rugon Salvez. Xavier Gorg is 11th, Simpson 12th, John Roulant's 13th, Tanel Liot is 14th. And then we have in 15th place in MX1, Jonathan Barragan with Guarneri, Getterman, Max Narkle, 18th for him, Dugan 19th, and Van Hoorbeek, we saw him go out just a moment ago. So obviously he'll pick up 1 point regardless anyway. And then in MX2, Jeffrey Hurlings, 7th in the race, is the lead MX2 guy at the moment on the Red Bull KTM. Roman Fevre, 4 positions behind him. He is the 2nd MX2 guy. 3rd MX2 is Dean Ferris. So looking at a podium place, Dean Ferris. Jordi Tixier is 4th. 5th is Glenn Coldenhoff. 6th, Jake Nichols. 7th is Mel Pocock. 8th, Elliot Banks-Brown. 9, Boutron, and 10th, Christophe Charlier. Max Anstey now in 11th. He is right on the rear wheel of Christophe Charlier and Jose Boutron. A little bit of ground to make up though. Has he? No, he's got Elliot Banks-Brown within 2 seconds of him as well in 8th place. So Max Anstey, who had to go through the last chance race, a 25-minute moto, which was pretty much straight after MX1 race 1, and about an hour before this race, having to do it the hard way. He's picking off points and he's working his way up towards anywhere inside the top 10. He's got Elliot Banks-Brown about 2 seconds ahead of him, and Elliot Banks-Brown is 7th MX2 rider in the race, 22nd in the overall classification. Here's Ken Didika going after David Philipparts, or is it the other way round? Philipparts ahead at the moment, so yeah, Didika going through. And Didika taking 7th place from the Garibaldi Honda rider, number 19, David Philipparts. And Didika comes over the Monster Energy tabletop, the second one out on the track. Picks his way through. That's Stephen Frossard just off the back of them as well. So we have got Philipparts, Didika, Philipparts, Frossard, 7th, 8th, 9th, and Rugon Salvez about another 3 seconds down on them. There he is in the background. So lots of little interesting battles going on here. Jeffrey Hurlings leading the way in MX2, Cairoli leading the way in MX1, 6.5 seconds clear of Clement de Sal. He's holding his own as well against Evgeny Bobryshev, who's in 3rd. Lots of mixed comments about this super final. Some saying it's a great idea to fill the gate, to give the MX2 guys and the MX1 guys a chance to race against each other. There's Frossard down the inside of Philipparts. Philipparts maybe just a little bit ring rusty, but so too Frossard, who overshot the turn. So the two guys that sat out most of last year with injuries, going at it here, fighting over 8th and 9th. Number 19, David Philipparts, 8th in the MX1 category on that red Honda. And 9th, oh, Frossard on the blue Yamaha in 9th place. Rui Gonçalves on the Ice 1 Racing KTM under the watchful eye of former Grand Prix racer who retired from MX3 last year, Antti Pyränen. Team, of course, owned by Kimi Räikkönen, who drives for Lotus in the F1 World Championship. Making a big push in the FIM Motocross World Championship this year, Ice 1 Racing. Also have Xavier Bourg in there as well. Xavier Bourg down in 11th at the moment in MX1. But look at Frossard trying to work every inch of the track. Find a way around David Philipparts. Philipparts will know exactly where he is, look. Just runs a little bit wide. I don't think there's been any needle between these two guys in the past, but Frossard certainly won't like the fact that Philipparts riding with the radar on underneath that helmet of his. Looking to go around the outside again, but look at that. The move blocked immediately by David Philipparts. Frossard's going to have to get cute here. Will he turn down on the left side? Kelly Rinaldi doesn't look too impressed either. Inside for Frossard. No. Thinks about it. But David Philipparts, 2008 FIM MX1 Motocross World Champion when he rode for the Rinaldi Yamaha squad back then, the team that Frossard is riding for now. Again, Philipparts going a little bit deeper than he needs to. Will he come across to the outside? Certainly making Frossard work for it. Frossard leans on him, gets the wheels in the traction and gets on the gas, and he makes the pass stick. So Frossard then moves into 8th in MX1, pushing David Philipparts down to 9th. Rui Gonçalves was just a little bit too far back. He may have seen an opportunity there to have gone through as well himself. But 12 minutes to go, +2. Cairoli leads 7.9 seconds. Here's Frossard. Thought he'd done enough to go around the outside. Philipparts just took a quick look over, went a little bit straight, fenced him out, kept him back for about another half a lap or so. Frossard not one to give up too easily, nor too David Philipparts. As we saw there, will try and defend his ground as much as possible. So just under 12 minutes +2 to go then. We are at the Qatar Grand Prix, about a half hour's drive outside the city of Doha, at the Lusail International Motocross Circuit on the perimeter of the road race circuit, which first hosted, oh, here we go. At the inside, that would be the Hurlings or Coldenhoff. Probably Coldenhoff, actually, a little bit further down. Tenau Leop going through on the Route 77 Energy Honda. So Tenau Leop 14th in MX1, 18th in the overall classification of this race. And there is going to be a podium immediately after this race for the Superfinal result. So at the moment, the podium that you'll see is Cairoli, Desal, Bobryshev, first, second and third. Of course, they'll pick up points for the MX1 World Championship. We won't see an MX1 podium on broadcast, but there will be one. We will see, I think, the raising of championship leaders in MX1 and MX2, and I think we'll see an MX2 podium on its own. Tony Cairoli, though, super slow shot, super slow-mo shots of him wrestling around with that 350 SXF KTM. 3 world titles on the bounce for Tony Cairoli and KTM. He's signed another 3-year deal starting from next year. It takes him to the end of 2016. Tony Cairoli, will he be able to sustain his winning ways and tie Stefan Everts in 2016 for what could be a possible 10th world title? Of course, got to win number 7 yet in 2013, and we're only at the first round of 18 this year. 1 week's time, we go to the Grand Prix of Thailand at Srirachar, not so far out of Bangkok. Then we are home for a couple of weeks. Some riders will have national duty. I know the Maxxis British Championship at home will kick off in 2 weeks' time at Fat Cat Motor Park in Doncaster, followed by Canada Heights in Swanley in Kent, just outside Swanley in Kent. Then Easter weekend, we are in Valkenswaard, round 3. The format goes back to normal, 2 MX1 races, 2 MX2 races. The next time we will see this after Thailand will, of course, be Mexico and Brazil, the flyaway races, and, of course, being piloted in 2013 with a view to run it in 2014. But I'm sure you guys at home will have your opinions, and I'm sure you'll all have your say on the forums and everything else like that. But Kevin Strybos, number 22, on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 machine in 4th. Coming under pressure from 21, Gauthier Paul, and on the factory Kawasaki, who keeps it in around the outside. And Blaspas, he runs a little bit too deep in the corner. That's a difficult turn to stop for anyway. Right on the downside of the big tabletop, 28 meters or so. But he managed to get it done. Turned in, used the powder to the outside. And he finds himself now, Gauthier Paulin, in 4th place. He's about 3 seconds down on Bobashev. There is Bobby in the white and red. The Honda World Motocross rider became a dad last Sunday to a little girl. So mum and daughter doing well back home. Jeffrey Hurling's 7th in the race, lead MX1 guy. Dean Ferris now 2nd on a Monster Energy Yamaha in MX2. Roman Febvre now 3rd, so this is a great result for Dean Ferris. Again, another rider who was out injured for a lot of the season from the French Grand Prix when he was an MX1 Ice 1 Kawasaki rider. So Dean Ferris, who in Moto number 1 picked up a very credible 5th place. Could be looking at 2nd overall here for the Grand Prix. He'll be more than pleased with that. Spent all of his Australian summer, the European winter, back home in Australia, riding out there, training out there, getting the warm weather miles under his belt. Jake Nichols, another rider who was down in the Southern Hemisphere in New Zealand, doing a similar kind of thing. Nichols now 5th MX2 guy, down in 19th in the race. So, with 7:17 on the clock, and Kenda Dijkert coming under pressure from Stephen Frossard for 7th place in MX1. Give you a quick rundown of the MX1 classification at the moment. Cairoli leads it, DeSalle 2nd, he's 10 seconds back. Bobashev 3rd, Paulin 4th, but he's closing on that 3rd place. Strybos is 5th, Searle is 6th, 7th is De Dijkert. That's the battle we're looking at now. De Dijkert in black on the orange Red Bull KTM. Frossard on the Monster Energy Yamaha there, 183. He's in 8th place. David Philippart's already been dispensed of, back in 9th place. And Rui Gonçalves on the Ice 1 KTM, he's in 10th. Then we've got Xavier Bourg 11th, Roulance 12th, Simpson 13th, and Tanel Leoc 14th. And in MX2, it's Jeffrey Hurlings who sits 7th in the race, but the lead MX2 rider. Dean Ferris is a 2nd MX2 rider. 3rd is Romain Febvre, but those two, nothing in it. So Ferris only just taking the position as he came over the line on lap 14 just a moment ago. So Ferris 2nd, Febvre 3rd, Coldenhoff 4th, Nichols 5th, Tixier dropping down to 6th place. In 7th, a little bit further back, just outside the top 20 in the race, Jose Boutron, then Charlier 8th, Anstey 9th, Banks Brown is 10th now, Lieber 11th, Mel Pocock 12th, Lupino 13th, Taille 14th, Petrov 15th, Tonkov 16th, Kulas 4th, Olsen and Dupre, who's already out of the race. Oh, Tixier. And Jake Nichols here. This is going to be a very, very interesting battle. Jonathan Barragan just finding a way through past Jake Nichols. Or Jake Nichols finding a way through, I think, on him. So there's Tixier. Tixier 20th in the race, but 6th MX2 rider. So that's going to be good enough for what? 15 points for Jordi Tixier to add to the 14 points that he picked up in Moto number 1 for 7th. There's Boutron. Boutron's a 7th MX2 guy. Then we've got Max Nagel. He'll be in 15th place in MX1. So Max Nagel still riding with a slight hand injury. There's our MX2 race leader, Jeffrey Hurlings. Remember, this is a combined race. top 20 riders from MX2, top 20 riders from MX1. That was determined by the finish in the first individual MX2 and MX1 race. So the 18 guys from both races went through. That was 36 riders. There was a last chance race, a qualifying race that saw a mixed race between MX1 and MX2, and obviously 4 riders going through to make 40. 2 MX2 guys, 2 MX1 guys. MX2 was won by Max Anstey with Valentin Tellier second, and the MX1 race was won by Jens Getterman on the 24 MX Honda, formerly LS Honda, and Jason Dugan on the Route 77 Honda was the second place MX1 guy. Clement de Sal being caught by 777 Evgeny Bobryshev. This is a battle for second position. De Sal cannot afford to lose a position to Bobryshev here, because Cairoli then, he will be in the driving seat. He will be the one that could walk away with the overall victory in the individual MX1 category. So Clement de Sal then off. Just saw somebody running away there in the background. Well, it certainly wasn't Bobryshev or Gauthier Paulin going down, so that's a good thing, because we've got a very interesting battle now for second place in this race, about to shape up here for the final 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps. 25 de Sal is second. That guy there, 777, Evgeny Bobryshev, he's in third place. Gauthier Paulin, number 21, is in fourth. The track getting chewed up. It's loose, it's slick, it's hard, it's soft, it's loamy, it's bumpy, it's technical. We're under floodlight as well. The bike's working all over the place, as we saw the rear end of the number 21 of Gauthier Paulin's Kawasaki. Just showing us there. Paulin desperate to find a way round the outside of number 777, Evgeny Bobryshev, who's having a great start to his 2013 World Championship campaign. Track a lot more open through that particular corner than it was yesterday. It was very heavy and stodgy, no one really using it, but they've taken the information on board, our track guys here, and they've just let the track flow. It's opened up, it's nice and dry, there's more lines. We're going down to pit lane with Jackie Martins and Jake Nichols.
Joining me in the pit lane, Jackie Martins, team manager at Wilvo Just Neston JM Racing. Roman obviously making a very good start to the championship, settling well in the team.
Yeah, it's a really nice kit, and yeah, on the moment already for the first GP he's doing very well. Normally after 3 laps he's gonna be second on the podium, I hope, and for sure the first race for him. Already yesterday with the 4th place in the first heat today, and he got 4th. He was already very satisfied, but I cross fingers, and I hope we are second on the podium. And you forgot it's Wilvo Neston GM Racing.
I'll remember next time. Thanks, Jackie.
Paulin tries to go through, but Bobryshev takes him wide. This battle for third place in the race between Evgeny Bobryshev, the 777, the red Honda, and Gauthier Paulin, number 21 on the white Kawasaki. He's used that line before to find a way past Strybos. He uses it again now to find a way past Bobryshev, the Russian, and now he's got his sights. Gauthier Paulin on the 25 yellow Suzuki of Clement de Sal, who's there in second place. We've got about 4 laps to go in this Superfinal. Gauthier Paulin looking for second and looking to rob Clement de Sal of overall victory in MX1 here at the opening round. So Tony Cairoli, he'll be just keeping an eye on what's going on, about 9.5 seconds behind him, and I'm sure the pit crew there will be keeping him informed as well. A lot of experience down there, so too at Suzuki, but Clement de Sal, a winner in Moto number 1, but he's feeling the pressure now from 21, Gauthier Paulin, in the closing laps of this Superfinal. Oh, almost gets tied up with the back marker there. And that was a 9:22, Kevin Fors on the Kimi Raytak Vandelar Racing Yamaha. So Paulin getting the power down on that factory Kawasaki. Got Harry Kulash just ahead of him. 151, he knows de Sal is there, he knows the leaders are coming through. Squeaky bum time for Clement de Sal now in the dying moments here. It's going to be 3 laps to go. We know he can ride a very wide machine if he has to, Clement de Sal, but we also know that the Kawasaki of Gauthier Paulin can sometimes act like a bit of a railroad if it has to. So it's going to be a bit of a tense time here. The question is, can Gauthier Paulin position himself to make the best possible pass, try to keep it clean, and will Clement de Sal be able to defend that move or not? He's doing his best at the moment to hang in there the number 25 Suzuki. There's back markers on the track. That's Tonkov on the Ester Motorsports Honda. This was the moment that Paulin and Bobryshev, just a lap ago, were trading bars and blows. There was a mistake there for Bobryshev, but then half a lap later, he was able to find a way through, was Gauthier Paulin. So what a battle we've got going on here for second position and the overall Grand Prix victory in MX1. Hurling's still leading the way in MX2. Ferris still second, Febvre third, Nichols now fourth, Coldenhoff is fifth. As we look at Tony Cairoli, our leader in MX1 and overall race leader. Tixier is 6, Boutron 7, Charlier 8, Anstey 9, Lever 10, Lupino 11, Banks Brown 12, Tellier 13, Pocock 14, Petrov 15, Kulas 16, and then the rest. We are on board with Kevin Strybos. Strybos still in 6th position. Tommy Searle now in 5th place, having just found a way through. That's him just ahead over the Monster Energy finish line jump now. So Cairoli, DeSalle, Paulin just getting held up by a back marker there in the background, it looked like. Bobryshev 4th, that might just be a bit of a let-off for Clement DeSalle. Certainly give him some much-needed breathing space going into the final 2 laps of this moto. Remember, we're under floodlight for the first time ever in an FIM Motocross World Championship Grand Prix. We're also in the Middle East in Qatar at Lusail International Motocross Circuit. The president of the QMMF, Mr. Nasser Khalifa Al Attaya. He was the visionary that brought this whole project together, starting with the road race circuit to cater for cars and motorcycles. And last year it was agreed that we should come here for a motocross Grand Prix, and it's a very technical and tough circuit for the riders to get their hand into. Rutty, hard, slick, loose. A bit of everything out on the circuit. Certainly the guys will know they've had a Grand Prix this weekend. It was Petr Petrov, the 152, the Kimi Raytech Mandalay Yamaha rider that was just in the way there a moment ago from Gauthier Paulin, 21. Bobryshev trying to find a way to close back in on the factory Kawasaki of Gauthier Paulin. On board with Strybos, going around another back marker. So Cairoli's about to come over the line to complete lap 20. He's on the final lap, goes through, about to turn down left past pit lane. He is 8 seconds clear of Clement DeSalle. Second and a half further back is Gauthier Paulin. So Cairoli doesn't know yet whether he's won MX2. He will know that he's won the Superfinal if he keeps it up on 2 wheels. Looking in the opposite direction, he'll be thinking, right, DeSalle was the winner in race 1, he's there in second. That's going to be 47 points, 25 and 22. Me, on the other hand, 20 in the first race, 25 now. That's going to be 45 points. Going to be 2 points shy. Tony Cairoli, but it depends on what Gauthier Paulin can do. Can he make a last chance effort on this final lap? Bobryshev there, still keeping him honest as well in 4th place. Tommy Searle about 3 seconds further back in 5th. Strybos 6, Tadika 7, Prossard 8. A few seconds between those guys. Philippart's 9 and Gonçalves 10. In MX2, Hurlings, Ferris, Febvre, Nichols and Coldenhoff. They're your top 5. So good recovery for Jake Nichols, riding with a slight back injury, had a big crash. I saw his mum out in the paddock after the last chance race. Said, yeah, he basically front end too high, and as the front end came down, jerked him off the back of the bike, landed off the back, on his back, slammed himself into the ground, and you do not want to crash around here anyway. But he's managed to get himself sorted and focused as Cairoli comes up to lap 7:37, Valentin Tellier, the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki rider. And Tellier, who transferred via the last chance race as the second MX2 guy. Tellier is 12th in MX2 in this final race. But Cairoli, though, he's going to round out the final turn here and take the checkered flag. He wins moto number 2, he wins the Superfinal. But Clement DeSalle is probably going to hold on for second, and he takes the overall victory. He's the World Championship leader in MX1 as we go to Thailand. And Gauthier Paulin goes 3rd. So what a great race then. And Tony Cairoli is going to ride back in Go Parch with a checkered flag there. So Cairoli then, DeSalle second, Paulin third. Bobryshev, he's going to be fourth. A good ride for him and Honda World Motocross. Tommy Searle fifth. Sixth, the 22 of Strybos.
Congratulations, you are the first Superfinal winner. How was that last race?
It was nice, you know, I had a good start finally, and I could pass DeSalle already in the first part of the race. I was just following in the beginning to see what gives the track, and then I found a good rhythm, and I could do my speed, and I win. I'm very happy. Unfortunately, I didn't win the GP, but anyway, next time.
Well, congratulations. We'll see you on the podium.
Yeah, obviously knows that he's not won the MX1 Grand Prix here. Clement DeSalle will go down as the first ever rider to win a Qatar FIM Motocross World Championship round under floodlights. And he will take the red plate to Thailand in a week's time. So Tony Cairoli then came over the line. Mini celebration, knowing that he won the Superfinal. He'll still make a podium, though, because the first podium we will see will, of course, be the Superfinal, which will be Cairoli, DeSalle, Paulin. MX2 looked like this. Hurling's 7th in the race, but first MX2 guy. 13th for Dean Ferris, but second MX2 guy. And then 2 places, or 3 places further back, 461, Romain Fevre. Great day for him. Sure that the overall podium is probably going to look in MX2, probably like Hurling's, Ferris and Fevre. Jake Nichols was 4th in the MX2 category, so that's going to be 18 points for him. That's exactly what he needed after his nightmare race 1 with the crash, where he had to battle on to get 18th to make sure that he didn't go through to the non-qualifiers race and have to go through the last chance avenue. Jordi Tixier ended up 5th in MX2. And then it was Boutron, Coldenhoff, Charlier and Anstey being 9th. And then Julian Lieber was 10th, Lupino 11th, Tellier 12th, 13th for Elliot Banks-Brown, 14th Mel Pocock in the end. Then it was Petrov in 15th, Tonkov 16th, 17th Harry Kulas, 18th Kevin Fors, good points for him, 19th Stefan Olsen on the JTEC Honda, and 20th Maxime Dupre. That's how it finished. Cairoli, DeSalle, Paulin, Bobryshev, Searle, Strybos, Hurlings, Didika, Frossard. The Superfinal finished like this. Tony Cairoli was the winner from Clement DeSalle, Gauthier Paulin 3rd, Bobryshev 4th, Tommy Searle 5th, Strybos 6th, first 6 guys all on MX1 machinery. Jeffrey Hurlings was the first MX2 guy in 7th, and it was Didika behind him. Then Frossard, as our timing screen just disappears. But individually, at least, Tony Cairoli was the MX1 winner. There's your overall points classification individually. DeSalle, Didika, Cairoli. That would have been from the first race, 25 points. As Nigel Frossard were MX2 championship classification. Well, we've got a slight problem with our scoring system here, because that is the first race result, Hurlings, Coldenhoff, Charlier. Yeah, for both those guys, so they've got another race to add to that. But off the top of my head, I'm thinking that obviously we know that MX1 is going to be Clement DeSalle, Tony Cairoli. They're going to be the overall guys, and then is it going to be Gauthier Paulin? Probably, yes. Third overall. There's a fourth and a third. And then Jeffrey Hurling's a double race winner in MX2. Dean Ferris probably going to be second overall with the results that he got in Moto number 1, which was a fifth and a second, and then Roman Febvre probably get third in MX2. So a modest crowd gathers outside the podium area, just to the outside of turn 2. And we're getting ready to greet the first 3 from the Superfinal, which will be third, Gauthier Paulin, second, Clement de Sal and Tony Cairoli. So Cairoli will stand on the top step of the podium just for this Superfinal presentation. As we said during the broadcast at some point, we had
presentation for the Superfinal.
A lot of discussion going on how the podium was going to work. Teams need to know and everything else in advance if their riders need to be there, but they've said that the immediate podium after the last race, after the Superfinal, will be for the Superfinal classification, just to keep things nice and simple. What you see is what you get. First, second and third in the race, that'll be a podium. Then there will be other podiums, probably championship leader in MX1 and MX2, and also an MX2 owned,
the first ever Superfinal World Championship
MX2 only podium.
In third position,
no
riding
MX1
for
podium.
the Kawasaki Racing Team. Put your hands together for
But here's
Gauthier
third place,
Paulin.
Gauthier Paulin, the Kawasaki rider, factory Kawasaki rider. You see QMMF, Qatar Motorcycle Federation colours this weekend.
Energy Suzuki. Ladies and gentlemen,
picking up a nice little bit of backing and a nice deal with the Qatari Federation here this weekend for Kawasaki. Rockstar Energy Suzuki World MX1 rider Clement de Sal, second in the Superfinal. Congratulates the Frenchman of Gauthier Paulin, but Tony Cairoli again bided his time, found his way through to the lead, passing Clement de Sal. Not an aggressive manner, just took him a little bit wide. De Sal had to back off, but the Red Bull factory KTM rider Tony Cairoli wins the Superfinal here in Qatar. Claudio De Carli, team manager, team owner for the MX1 KTM squad. He will be the representative.
The trophy to Gauthier Paulin for third place. It is Mr. Sultan Al Maraki, the QMF board member.
So third place trophy going to Gauthier Paulin on the podium here in Qatar, and that is the Pearl of Doha. Just down the road, it's quite a famous area. It's like a bay and like a bit of a marina and harbour, and lots of nice boats down there and all kinds of stuff. But our Qatari president, Nasser Khalifa Al Attiyah, a former racing driver himself, and one thing or another, but he is the president here of the QMMF, and he hands the second place trophy to Clement de Sal. Vito Ippolito, president of the FIM, on hand this weekend to present Tony Cairoli winner's trophy for winning the Superfinal here. Of course, he is not the overall leader or winner of the MX1 category.
Trophy to the winning team manager Claudio De Carli for Red Bull KTM, presented
Claudio
by
De
Mr.
Carli
Nasser
will pick up the winning trophy for KTM on behalf of KTM.
The president of the QMMF and also the Losail Circuit general manager. Now we need Jeffrey Hurlings up on stage, please. Jeffrey Hurlings.
So the top 3 in the Superfinal, Tony Cairoli, Clement de Sal and Gauthier Paulin. Middle, left and right, first, second and third. And we are waiting for Jeffrey Hurlings, we're told, to make his way to the podium.
But ladies and gentlemen, the man who will take the red plate as series leader in the MX2 class.
As the overall winner for the MX2 World Championship, with a win in the first race, a class win in the Superfinal, and 7th in the overall classification. Jeffrey Hurlings, number 84, Red Bull factory KTM. He will lead the World Championship going into Thailand. Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, the director of the FIM Motocross Commission, FIM CMS, Dr. Wolfgang Schrupp, handing
Sir,
him another red plate. Jeffrey Hurlings, knee injury and all. But Clement de Sal, despite standing on the second step of the podium in the super
Now,
final,
ladies and gentlemen, a special presentation being made
will
by Mr. Giuseppe Luongo, the Ustream president,
lead the
to
World Championship
Mr.
MX1
Nasser
category
Khalifa Al Attaya,
going
the
into
QMF
Thailand.
president, for such a wonderful event. Ladies and
And a
gentlemen,
red
put
plate
your hands
for
together. What a great
Nasser
event we've had here.
Khalifa Al Attaya, the QMMF president. We'll be coming back here next year, I'm sure. There'll be more permanent lighting fixtures in. At the moment, we've got 76 temporary ones around the circuit, but next year, we're told, they will be a lot brighter, a lot
Ladies and
higher,
gentlemen, now the
similar to the ones that you see out there in the
national
background.
anthem for the winning rider of the Superfinal, Antonio
So-
Cairoli. Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem for Italy.
So national anthem then for Italy, Tony Cairoli.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem for the winning manufacturer, KTM.
National anthem for Austria, KTM winning manufacturers in the super final.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have Amy Dargan on stage, who will interview the riders. So for the final time, please show your
So no
appreciation
national anthem for
our
Clement de
winners
Sal
in
then,
the
despite
first
winning the
Grand Prix
FIM
of
MX1 Grand Prix here this
2013.
weekend. Or for Jeffrey Hurlings for winning the MX2, but important thing is, leading the World Championship, I guess, for those guys.
Well,
Here's Amy Dargan, see what she has to say.
2013 season, we're going to come first to our super final winner, Antonio Cairoli. Tony, how was the whole experience for you of this weekend?
Yeah, overall it was good. I mean, the track was nice and the preparation was these people here work really hard. Only short time they build up such a great circuit, and I'm glad to win, to be the first final winner. So, prova, yes. And I think it's nice. Only a little bit disappointed for the first race, but overall I'm happy and good. Looking forward for the next race.
Thanks, Tony. We'll see you in time. We're going to come to our MX1 winner, Clement de Sal. How do you go about tackling a track like this? It looks so amazing out there to ride.
Yeah, it's true. It's impressive, but yeah, it was good for me today. I didn't crash one time, so that was good, and don't make any big mistakes. I had also fun, but I think in some places it's like the light is it's really strange. You know, we have the shadow of our bike and us, so also with the projection, so we have to be really careful with that. And yeah, it was a good experience, but yeah, we'll see for the next race. Try to do my best for the championship.
Thanks, Clement. Nice start to your season. We're going to also come to our MX2 winner, Jeffrey Hurlings. Jeffrey, I know you like any opportunity to go up against the big bikes. How was it today?
It wasn't bad at all. You know, I pretty good start, but you know, it's tough to stay with the guys with you know, with the lights bike. So I'm proud. You know, I got 6 or 7, I think. So it was good, and I think if everything goes correct, and I might get a whole show one day, I can be second, third, or fourth. So. But I think it's possible to get a 3rd place and be on the box with a lights bike, but then everything has to be great. But I won my thing and dominated both motos, and more I couldn't do, you know. Never could do it without all the KTM crew. They worked so hard for me, and to be on top of the box is it's an amazing feeling.
Well, many congratulations to our podium winners. That's all from us. We're going to come up now just to Gautier. Congratulations, you're finishing on the podium for this first GP. How's the experience been out here in Qatar? Have you had a great time?
Yeah, it was just amazing to be here in Qatar. First GP, it was an overseas GP. It was really difficult for all the mechanics to set everything for that race. And then finally we arrived. Bax was awesome. All the mechanics were 100% behind me. I'm feeling really good, and I was really happy about that track. To ride by night was something amazing, and the track was really good. They make a good walk. They flat the track just before the Superfinal, and to race with the MX2 was also not too bad. And now really happy to put the Kawasaki on the podium this weekend for first weekend.
Thanks, Gautier. And well, congratulations to all of our podium winners. We're obviously all finished here for the GP of Qatar, the first race of the season. We'll see you next week for the GP of Thailand. In the meantime, keep up with us on Twitter at MX Live Top TV and also on our Facebook page. We'll see you next week.
So that's it then from us here in Qatar, the first time a Grand Prix has ever been held under floodlight. But before we go off air, here's what happened in the Superfinal. Kevin Strybos and Clement Nassau bossed the start line from the middle of the grid, but it was Cairoli who showed his intent. He caught our early race leader, Clement Nassau, and it was a battle between the two giants. Behind them, Strybos was being attacked by the number 84, Kevin Strybos, and 21, Gautier Paulin. Bobryshev got a good start. He was running 3rd for much of the race. Tommy Searle was down there in about 7th position in the early stages, and eventually Tommy Searle would finish 5th in the moto. These two went at it though, and about 2 corners later, Tony Cairoli would find a way through past Clement Nassau. Jeffrey Hurlings was never troubled by MX2 riders in the category, but these two here, David Philippart's 19 and Ken Didijker, were going a little bit bar to bar and wheel to wheel. Didijker eventually coming out on top in 7th in the MX1 category. Philippart's finishing down in 9th place. Gautier Paulin put on a hard charge towards the end to get himself on the podium in 3rd place and was pretty close to Gautier Paulin in the closing stages as well. But first of all, he had to find a way around the outside of Bobryshev, and he did that in the same way that he passed Kevin Strybos. And at that point, his eyes were focused on the 25, but it was Tony Cairoli who won the first ever super final from Clement Nassau, Gautier Paulin. Jeffrey Hurlings was the first MX2 finisher in 7th, Dean Ferry 2nd overall, Romain Febvre 3rd. And that was it. That was how the Qatari Grand Prix finished. Jeffrey Hurlings, the overall winner in MX2. Clement Nassau, the overall winner in MX1. Tony Cairoli, the winner of the Super Final. And of course, they'll do it all over again next week in Thailand. But it's been a great year, great weekend, a great experience from us here. First time ever under floodlight. And we'll see you in Thailand in 1 week's time. My name's Paul Manning. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a week in Thailand. Bye for now.
Open the season. This is great for us.
trophy to the winning team manager, Claudia. Australia riding for the Monster Energy Yamaha team, Dean Ferris. But our winner, ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise riding for Red Bull Factory KTM, the one and only Jeffrey Hurlings. And team manager for the Red Bull KTM, ladies and gentlemen, the man with 10 world titles to his name, it is Stefan Everts. The trophy presentation to Roman Febvre in third will be made by Mr. Sultan Al Maraki, the QMMF board member. Second place award made by Mr. Nasser Khalifa Al Attaya, a QMMF president, to Dean Ferris. And please make some noise for Vito Ippolito, the president of the FIM, who presents the trophy to our MX2 class winner, Jeffrey Hurlings. And now the team manager trophy to Stefan Everts, representing Red Bull KTM, made by Mr. Nasser Khalifa Al Attaya. And now the national anthems, ladies and gentlemen, for our winner, first of all, Jeffrey Hurlings. And finally, the national anthem for our winning manufacturer, KTM. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, thank you for attending this first Grand Prix of the year, the first Grand Prix of Qatar. We hope you've had a wonderful time, and we hope to get to see you again soon. Have a safe journey home.